All right, let's dive in. Today we are talking about Python, which is without a doubt one of the most important and popular programming languages on the entire planet. So if you've ever been even a little bit curious about coding but had no idea where to start, well, you're in the right place. And that's a really good question, right? I mean, you hear about it everywhere. It's used by tiny startups and tech giants. It's in cutting-edge scientific research. It's even used to make art. So what's the big secret? What's the deal with Python? Let's find out. So to really get what all the hype is about, we've got to rewind a bit and look at where Python even came from in the first place. The whole story kicks off in the late 1980s with a Dutch programmer, Guido van Rossum. See, he was working with this teaching language called ABC that was super simple, but not very powerful. He had this idea, what if you could create a language that was as easy to learn as ABC, but had all the power a professional would need? So he started tinkering with it as a hobby project, and boom, in 1991, he shared the very first version with the world. And here's a fun fact for you. The name has absolutely nothing to do with snakes. Turns out, Guido was a massive fan of the British comedy troupe Monty Python. He just wanted a name that was short, a little bit mysterious, and unique. So what does all that history boil down to? It means that from its very DNA, Python was designed to be easy. Its syntax is so clean, it almost reads like plain English. Plus, it's free and open source, which means there's this huge global community of people building amazing things with it and helping each other out. It's that magic combination of simple and powerful that makes it perfect for just about anything. Okay, enough history, right? Talk is cheap. Let's actually see the simplicity in action. We're going to write our very first program. Take a look at this. This is the classic Hello World test. It's the first thing almost every programmer learns. In Python, on the left, it's one single readable line. That's it. Now look at Java on the right. You need all this ceremony, 5 lines of code, curly braces, semicolons, just to do the exact same thing. This right here is what makes people fall in love with Python. It just gets out of your way. Now let's be real. Coding isn't always that simple. You are absolutely going to run into errors. But here's the cool thing about Python. Even its error messages are designed to help you, not scare you. So just imagine we have a dictionary of a user's data, like their name and email. What happens if we try to ask for something that, well, just isn't there? Let's say we ask for the user's location, but we never saved it. Well, Python won't just crash and burn. Instead, it raises something called a key error, and the name tells you everything you need to know. It's an error because you used a key that doesn't exist in your dictionary. It's a specific, helpful clue. And you'll see a message that looks something like this. At first, it might seem a little intimidating, right? All this text. But think of it like a treasure map. It's called a traceback, and it points you to the exact file, the exact line number, and tells you the exact problem. It found a key error while looking for location. It takes you right to the scene of the crime. And even better, Python gives you these really clean ways to handle it. So instead of crashing, you can either just check if the key is there first, or you can use a super handy built-in method called get. What get does is it looks for the key, and if it's not there, it doesn't panic. It just returns a default value that you choose. It's a much safer, more predictable way to handle missing information. All right, so we've seen how to write a little bit of code and even how to handle an error. Now let's talk about a couple of the fundamental building blocks, the Legos really, that you'll be using all the time. So 2 of the most common ways you'll store groups of things are in lists and tuples. A list, with the square brackets, is mutable, which is a fancy way of saying it's changeable. You can add things, remove things, and swap things around. But a tuple, with the parentheses, is immutable. It's rock solid. Once you create it, its contents are locked in. And that's actually super useful for data that you know should never, ever change. Now, you're also going to hear that Python is an object-oriented language. Don't let the jargon scare you. All this really means is we can bundle up related data and the actions that work on that data into one neat little package called an object. Think about driving a car. You use a steering wheel, pedals, a gear shift, a simple interface. You don't need to know every single detail about how the engine works to get where you're going. OOP is the exact same idea, but for your code. So we've seen the syntax, we've handled errors, we've looked at the building blocks, but let's get to the fun part. What can you actually build with all this? This is where it gets really exciting. And this says it all. On the left, you've got code for a complex web application.
the kind of thing that powers massive sites like Instagram. And on the right, someone is digging into data, probably from a spreadsheet, to uncover hidden patterns. They look like two completely different worlds, but they're both being powered by the exact same core language. That's versatility.
And the secret weapon that makes all this possible is Python's incredible ecosystem of libraries. Just think of these as pre-built toolkits that other brilliant developers have already made for you. You want to analyze data? Grab Pandas or NumPy. You're building an AI? There's TensorFlow. You want to make a video game? There's Pygame for that. Whatever you can dream of building, odds are someone has already built a library to give you a massive head start. Wow, we have covered a lot of ground. We've gone from a simple hobby project in the 80s all the way to building artificial intelligence today. So, after all that, what's the one thing you should really take away from this? It really just boils down to this: Python makes coding accessible. The entire language is built on the ideas of simplicity, readability, and power. It's a language that grows with you. It's perfect for writing your very first Hello World, and it's more than powerful enough for your most ambitious, world-changing projects. So the journey starts now with that first step. You've got the map. The only question left is, where do you want to go? What problem do you want to solve? What idea do you want to bring to life? The tools are all here, just waiting for you.